Maybe you're City to win, but it does look like City to win the league, but it does look like Alison Becker does. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Clash of the Reds podcast. And after yesterday's bombshell of a match at Anfield, we have plenty to discuss. Today, in the red corner of London, we have Daniel. How are you doing today? You all right?
Okay, bro. I've recovered from the abomination that we saw yesterday from Liverpool. But yeah, we're still in a good place from an Arsenal perspective.
And representing the Red Scousers of Liverpool, we have Tamim and Zayed. How are you both doing today?
Not great, mate. I haven't recovered from that abomination, so yeah, I'm trying.
I'm at the point where I think most football fans go through, where they find that they've got absolutely nothing to watch on YouTube, to listen to on Spotify, to read online, because everything is about their shit club and their shit performance. So yeah, I'm in the wastelands at the moment when it comes to content. So yeah, I'm having a great Monday, honestly.
Always a good way to start the week. And you have myself and Uzi Dog representing the Reds of Manchester. How are you doing, Uzi?
Representing Manchester from London.
We're called Cockney Reds.
Yeah, Peckham Reds. Peckham Reds.
Why are you cock blocking, Daniel? This is my moment to speak. I'm all okay, man. Having a play. I feel for that United stand guy is going to have to probably, go bold. But yeah, good results. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get cracking straight on with the match then. First off, let's discuss the Liverpool versus City match. Quite a lot to unpack there, quite a lot going on. A very entertaining game of football, very end-to-end, what we like to see in a good football match there. So Zahid and Tamim, what are your takeaways from that?
Zahid, you go for it?
No, you can go first. Go for it.
That just shows, right, the state of how we're feeling. Neither of us want to go first. But yeah, I mean, you summed it up pretty well. It was, from a neutral observer, I can imagine it must have been a great game to watch. It was end to end. I think first half was a little bit slow, and that was pretty much mostly City. We looked like we didn't get out of bed, to be honest with you. It was mainly City controlling the ball. Whenever we tried to attack, just the passing was wayward. The final third play was terrible. Link-up play bad. We just looked miles off it. And I was thinking it's going to be like how the first game went, which was 3-0 to City. But so nothing much happened that first off. Second half was much better. I don't know what happened in the halftime team talk, or if there was any tactical changes made by Slot. But 45 minutes onwards, we were the better team and we took the game by the scruff of the neck. Everything was going through our midfield, our fullbacks, our attackers, and we were like getting through their midfield like as if they didn't even exist. So we took the lead. Great free kick by Szoboszlai. He's just pulling out the bag nowadays, isn't he? That was a good free kick. Our attacking play was good, passing good, etc. But we only scored one goal out of it. And as the game was going on, I was thinking, it's not gonna be long before City equalise, because that's been the pattern the whole season. And as soon as we took the lead, we kind of sit back a little bit. I don't know if that's a Slot instruction or whether the players got tired, but as soon as we sat back and let City have the ball, I could see an equaliser come in, and our defence could not hold through. And not only did an equaliser come through, they score a winner. They nearly score a third goal. Just embarrassing, just pure embarrassment at the end. Last 10 minutes, like one of the worst 10 minutes I've seen from our club. So regardless of how well we played that second half, it's just typical performance by our club and Slot. That's my summary of it all.
It's been a bit of a feature of you guys recently, sort of capitulating in the last 10-15 minutes, whereas at the start of the season it was the complete opposite, where you would get that last minute winner. So what do you think's been the difference between now and then?
I think it's firstly a mentality thing. I think the team is very low in confidence, especially with our defending. I think there's always that fear of conceding, and which is why we actually probably went to park the bus after the 75th minute, because maybe Slot thought the best thing to do is just preserve that 1-0 lead. But ironically, what was working for us was pressing high intensity, going direct. Why not carry on doing that? And I know that's easier said than done, but yeah, I think there's a bit of fear, maybe fear of what's happened throughout the season. So that's why things have changed, maybe. And thinking if we just park the bus, we'll be able to preserve the leads and not give away those draws and losses. But ironically, that's what led to our downfall yesterday. So yeah, I think it's mainly fear. I think it's fear and ability as well. Our ability to defend, that is just not there. It's not at the top level like Arsenal or other top teams around Europe. So yeah, fear and lack of ability. I think it's that.
I think I agree with everything that you're saying, Tamim. The only thing I would add would be that in the first half, especially, our midfield seemed to disappear. It was all from defense to attack. I don't know, and we seemed like we were trying to play quite fast football, and I think that was probably Slot's instruction for the entirety of the game. You saw that work a lot better in the second half, but in the first half, there was lots of balls just thrown up to the attackers. The midfield was just getting completely missed. There was also issues with so the lack of the midfield, like I was saying, and Man City were pressing quite high. They were pressing quite aggressively, and it wasn't allowing us to settle. But to be honest, we were also pressing them quite high, and there was a couple of opportunities. There was an opportunity or two that we had against them, as well as, I mean, Haaland almost scored in like the second or third minute, which was a bit crazy. But I've got to give a shout out to Kirkez. He defended excellently pretty much throughout the game. He looked assured defensively. And yeah, I mean, he's grown in sort of his defensive capabilities. In the second half, obviously, we played better. But like you were saying, in terms of what's happened to our team defensively, we look so much less assured when it comes to maintaining and holding a lead. I think Salah also had a poor game. I mean, first half, the pace was definitely off it. He wasn't up to speed with the rest of the team in terms of the rest of the team was playing at a high tempo, whereas he was sort of misplacing passes. His passes weren't coming off. He wasn't making the runs that he was supposed to. And when we needed him, he didn't really step up. However, we can't talk about the game without talking about the penalty that was not given. And I think Guehi played well. There was one opportunity where Ekitike he basically squared up Guehi, and I was like, okay, this is Ekitike's moment. He's going to get past him and he's going to score. I was that confident, and Guehi just held him up, and I was very impressed. Really, really impressed with Guehi's defending. Apart from that pull on Salah, and I watched Slot's post-match interview, and he was basically saying that, listen, 100 times out of 100, Salah would score that. That is a goal-scoring opportunity that Guehi stopped, and he should have been red-carded for that. I mean, you could argue that I think it was Ruben Diaz could have made it across and stopped that from happening. But I felt, I don't know, maybe I'm just a biased Liverpool fan, but I felt like the ref chose to let a lot of things run. Tried to keep the game running on, tried not to slow down the game. There were multiple times where I think Salah was taken down, and penalty appeals that weren't given. It was interesting to see how the ref managed the game. I mean, the end of the game was just crazy. I mean, it's not necessarily the kind of assured football I like to see Liverpool play, but yeah, I mean, Szoboszlai, you saw him. He was. I think I love Szoboszlai, man. I mean, you see the goal that he scored. You know, he's just a clutch player when he scores a goal like that. It was just incredible. And it was funny to see Arsenal fans celebrating the same goal that scored against them earlier in the season. But yeah, I mean, so he went from scoring that goal to when Haaland was waiting to take the penalty, he was just shit talking him, trying to put him off before the penalty was taken, and then you see him fighting with Haaland, pulling Haaland back, and then Haaland pulling him back. eventually getting sent off. But yeah, absolute cult hero he is. But yeah, our problems compound. This is not the way you want to see champions play, really. And I mean, sending Alisson up, I think that was a bit. I don't think it was necessary. It's not like it was a cup final or it was like this game and we're out of the Champions League. I don't think it was that much of a desperation in terms of needing to do that. But yeah, those are just my thoughts on the game.
I would still say it was worth a shot to set him up there. It's something that Ferguson said, where it's in the dying moments of the game, and why go defensive? Why not just go all out? If you're losing, just go for it. Because even if you end up getting that goal, the feeling in the dressing room afterwards, there's nothing like it. So yeah, I can sort of see why you'd want to make that push there. Speaking on that Alisson going up and the incident going back, what are your thoughts on the disallowed goal and the subsequent red card?
Yeah, I mean, I think it felt pointless to me. I know rules are rules, right? But, and I'm saying this as a Liverpool fan, it ended fine. And you know what? It was like late into stoppage time, and it was a great TV moment for City. And obviously, we're the ones on the receiving end of this, but I didn't really care too much. And actually, I'd rather the goal stood, because then we would have Szoboszlai for the next game, right? There'd be no red card, no one match ban for Szoboszlai, who's our best player right now. So yeah, I'd rather actually have taken the 3-1 loss than what it currently is now. Yeah, there's pulling from both, right? Haaland pulled Szoboszlai pulled Haaland. So I feel like the ref could have just let it go. It wasn't just purely Szoboszlai pulling down Haaland, and it was a bit of back and forth between them both. Just let it be 3-1. Don't red card him. Finish the game there and then. Yeah, that's my thought on it.
Interesting point made on ESPN where they talked about that incident, and they were saying that what the referee did was correct, not just by the rules of the game, but also in the spirit of the game, because there was still another 30 seconds played after that incident, and it only takes a second to score a goal. And if it was 2-1 and you went off and scored, it would be a completely different conversation. So
yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, it's a good objective point you make there. I guess I'm talking out of emotion, but yeah, that's bringing objectivity to it. So that's a good point.
One decision
I would say that.
Oh no, go ahead.
So I was just going to say a couple of things. First of all, I can understand. So I mean, I understood the red card makes sense, obviously, because he's pulled back Haaland for a goal scoring opportunity, and then the disallowed goal. I guess again it makes sense because he also stopped Szoboszlai from defending and clearing it. Basically, I just thought it was funny watching it back. But before that, something happened in the box, and VAR was supposed to check for a potential penalty, and none of that ever happened. Like, they didn't actually go back and check that. They just focused on the Haaland incident, and then eventually Szoboszlai gets sent off. Goals disallowed. Liverpool then take a goal kick or something. Or there's a
I literally
the final whistle was blown.
Yeah, Sky Sports literally showed the clip today, so they didn't actually show it in the coverage, and they referenced because of what happened at the end. There was too much to cover, that they didn't show it. But they showed the incident again, and for me, like, if the ref blows up for a penalty, we've seen them given. It was one of the 50-50s where, like, because of just a bunch of bodies in the box, like, VAR wouldn't have pulled it back. But if it's given, like, that for me, that stands. The Sky Sports guy was like, it looked like a fair tackle to me. I'm like, he slides in with like a lot of force to try and get that ball, and takes out the Liverpool player. But yeah. Hey, Khalid, how you doing, man? Nice to see you on the show. Thoughts on Guehi's pull on Salah? Was it Dogso? Sorry, I'm taking over your role, Omar, but yeah.
That's fine. So yeah, as I covered that a little bit earlier, what are your thoughts on that one, Tamim? Do you think Salah would have scored that?
Sorry.
Do you think Salah would have scored?
Yeah, I think he Yeah, I think he could have definitely. We've seen him put them away, from that position, even with his weaker foot. But maybe if they're thinking, would the average attacker have scored from there? Would Diaz been able to make it? Then yeah, I guess they're thinking along those lines. They're not thinking what would have Salah have done or what would have a world class attacker like him would have done. I think he could have. Yeah, definitely in that position, he could have definitely scored. But yeah, as I said, maybe a lot of other attackers wouldn't have been able to. Yeah, I mean, I'd have to rewatch that highlight. It was definitely, it's definitely a foul, but I don't know if it was inside. I think it was pretty tight, right? It was on the line. Was it inside the box or not? Yeah, I'd have to replay it in all honesty, to be honest. Yeah.
And there was another questionable incident in the game, which was the awarding of the penalty. Now, I was on the side that this was a harsh penalty because the ball had pretty much gone out of play. He didn't have control of it, and he was unlikely to score. Your thoughts, Daniel? Resident VAR expert.
So my feeling was that it was a penalty because he makes contact with the player first, like very similar to the Gyökeres penalty that was overturned at Newcastle. But keepers rushing out, we've seen them given numerous times. Yeah, like whilst it is harsh, I just think that rush of the blood to the head for Alisson, I think probably, like, unfortunately for Liverpool, unfortunately for us as Arsenal fans, like just scuppered hopes of holding out for a draw there, because I like the City player wasn't going anywhere. He was in the corner of the box. So yeah, it's just unfortunate in my opinion.
So I would say that yes, it's a harsh penalty probably because the ball was going out of play, but Alisson didn't need to rush out and slide in like that either. He just could have made himself big and not jump in. It was unnecessary for him to do what he did, which is really annoying. But I also wanted to just say one last thing, that it must be lovely being a City fan and watching Haaland, like, because he's such a shit house, yeah. But this, I don't even want to say what I want to say, yeah. But at the end of the game, he was getting Pep Linders to try and goad the Liverpool fans after City won, and I'm just like, wait until next season, Haaland. Watch what happens next season. Liverpool fans do not forget.
Yeah,
oh, can't wait.
I mean, he did it in our game against us when they equalised, right, last year. Who the FU to Lewis Skelly, debutant, chucking the ball at Gabriel's head. Yeah, it's just peak Haaland, I think. Yeah. I guess from my perspective, like, it's really weird watching or supporting another team who's not your team, because you can see their flaws like so much more clearly in some ways. like Kanai overhitting passes, misjudging tackles when to jump in. I was like, come on, man, what are you doing there, man? Like, you weren't doing this last season. like where was any of this? And yeah, like, the Ekitike miss, I was like, yeah, and it was really, really deflating. Like in my mind, in 85 minutes, like I'm already at the parade in May. Like 85 minutes, 9 points clear. It's like, and if that to be taken away in the space of literally 8 minutes, like it was utterly deflating. Really, really was. And then obviously still had some hope that maybe there was a penalty. McAllister with that shot at the end as well after the penalty went in. Like, you're still on tenterhooks. Like you could have got that draw like very, very easily, but yeah, it wasn't to be. I guess any Arsenal fans, sorry Tom, I'll finish off this point. If any Arsenal fans watching, Like the first half was never going to be a procession. Like it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a slog. Yeah, go on, Tamim. Sorry.
Now, I was going to ask you, do you think this is a big result for the title race? The reason I ask is, like you just said, in 85th minute, you're at the parade, you're thinking 9 points clear. That's a big gap right there. But I think it was Noel Gallagher on TalkSport. He's a City fan. He was saying even after the game that it's still Arsenal's. Like he does not see any way back for City because regardless of how it ended and reducing the gap to 6 points, it's just the manner of how City went about that game from 45th minute to 80th minute, and not just against us but against Spurs as well when they dropped in the second half, and other games as well when they sort of dropped their standards in the second half. He was thinking it just shows like we're definitely at the title race regardless of winning that game. Like just base City on what happened before the 80th minute. That was his sort of negative take on it. Do you sort of agree? Do you think that was a really poor showing for City? Do you have a lot of confidence going against City now, or are you a bit worried that it's only 6 points?
It's the psychology of a title race, right? Like they play before us tomorrow night, I believe. No, Wednesday night, and we play on Thursday. So if they do beat Fulham, which is probably the most likely outcome, that gap drops to 3 points. And now the pressure is all back onto Arsenal to go and get a performance Thursday night under the lights at Brentford, one of the hardest away grounds in the league currently. So, like in some ways, yes, it does give City a shot in the arm. And I'm going to talk about Neville here, and I don't like talking about punditry too much. But it was really grating, I have to say. Like listening to Gary Neville, one with his no reaction to Zobazai's goal and like lamenting the poor defending from Manchester City. Like you're meant to be neutral, even more so as I suppose Man United, man. You're meant to be neutral between Liverpool and Manchester City, and then to be lamenting the fact that Man City didn't defend that properly. I just think like really misses the mark. I've said this before, but like if we want to watch fan TV and get wound up, we tune into expressions, we tune into United Stand. Like this is not what like fee-paying TV viewers come to watch. And then even more grating was when it was 2-1 and Shirky went through on goal. It's like, go yourself, lad. Go on, go yourself. I'm like, come on, man. Like that irritated me more than anything else, to be honest with you. But yeah, that little rant aside, I think the title race is definitely still alive, and I think it will probably go down to us facing the Etihad. They have a lot of winnable fixtures now. Manchester City do. The only kind of swing weekend that I'm looking at is when they face Leeds away and we face Chelsea at home, which is quite a big weekend, I think, in the title race before we face them. So, yeah.
Uzi, I just wanted to ask: would you like an Arsenal fans watching that Liverpool City game to being a cuck? You got a lot of experience there, right?
So, are you saying Arsenal fans are cucks? Absolutely, they are, man.
Honestly, the number of comments, like Arsenal fans suddenly talking about the game and like complaining about how Liverpool are playing and blah 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 blah. Honestly, like basically, we have been champions in the recent past. We don't need you to tell us what to do. Of course, we're having an absolutely shite season, but come on.
It's the equivalent of a virgin going to a shoot between Johnny Sins and Yasmina Khan and sitting on the chair telling them what to do. And it's like, bruv, shut your ass down, but we know what we're doing. And don't act like you don't know who Yasmina Khan is, Tabim. Yeah.
Deep internet
Then I was like, bro, what are you doing to my stream? I was falling asleep and then you mentioned porn. Oh, yeah, I can tell you that. Thank you for getting me involved, Zahid. It sounds a bit odd now.
Oh, God.
There's a question for you, Zahid, Liverpool fans.
Just had a question from Mo there for the two Liverpool fans here. Would you replace Alisson and VVD?
I would say, I mean, you have to look at it for sure. I mean, Van Dijk's 35 now. You'd want to, I don't want to say full on replacing, unless we get like a really big offer from Saudi. You'd want to keep a personality like Van Dijk around, even if we're looking at better centre backs out there and maybe getting him out of the first team slowly and him being more of a dressing room figure. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of Van Dijk. With Alisson, yeah, we've been looking at, we've got Mamadashvili in, and that was even while Alisson was in his prime. We were looking at long-term replacing him because of his fitness issues, his how often he gets injured as well. So yeah, I think that's sort of on the way for sure for both of them, whether it be very soon or next year or so. But yeah, definitely that's in the pipeline.
I would say, yeah. I mean, Mamadashvili is there. He just needs a run of games, a run of games in the team to then be able to take over from Alisson. Normally, Alisson gets injured at some point in the season, and then the second keeper has to come in anyway. So, like we saw last season with Kay McKellar. But I would say when it comes to Van Dijk, I mean, I guess Leone is the planned long-term replacement with Jeremy Jacquet. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard that you got to keep someone like Van Dijk is such a presence at the club. Like he won't accept being a sub. Like he has to play. You know what I mean? He's been such a leader for the club, and he's embodied where we are and the respect that we deserve. He embodies that clearly in the team. So it's going to be a difficult transition to go through. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. The team has to move on. Football moves on, and football moves on quickly.
And it's time for us to also move on from this match. So we shoot over to Dunyar. Your thoughts on your match with Arsenal and Sunderland? Nice, comfortable victory for you. Any questions? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah. So I think going back a step with the League Cup semi-final versus Chelsea, I actually think that result had a big impact on how we felt in the stands. It almost felt like the morning after the party sort of thing. Like, oh yeah, I remember you from the other night. Like, hugging you awkwardly. But yeah, like the anxiety from the stands was definitely lessened. I felt like it felt like more of a joyous occasion, I think. And like we weren't as kind of on the backs of the players against Sunderland, I think. If that makes sense, like against United, like the anxiety was quite palpable, but we didn't really feel that against Sunderland, and I think the Chelsea result really helped that in a lot of ways, which I do want to kind of touch on as well, maybe a bit later on in terms of would that League Cup final have any bearing on the title race in the long run. I'm not sure, but yeah. I think it was a very professional performance from Arsenal. We did really, really well. I saw Zahid's comments on our WhatsApp chat after saying Sunderland were out-muscling Arsenal. And obviously, in the ground, you don't really feel that or see that. But kind of watching the highlights, I could see what Zahid was alluding to after. Like they are a very, very physical team. And I think what's interesting is how Sunderland are viewed in terms of the narrative, or how Arsenal are viewed in terms of the narrative is based on what Sunderland are. A very physical, direct team who will go, toe-to-toe with you, will battle with you, will play for set pieces, will play for throw-ins and long balls. And yeah, like there was like a healthy respect between the two fan bases and the two clubs. Zubimendi, a fantastic shot outside the box. I was really, really pleased for him again, getting another goal back to back. That's 6 goals from a supposed DM. I think he's just transformed our midfield in a lot of ways. And then as well, like I think thinking about Jesus. So really, really unfortunate for him. I don't know if you guys saw the highlights at all, but basically threw on goal. He's in his own half, but he's leaning over the halfway line. And then subsequently wins a penalty, and then it gets ruled out for being offside, which again, really, really harsh. His legs were literally in our own half. But yeah, that could have been a big turning point. And then after that, Sunderland came out of the box flying in the second half. A couple of nervy moments for at the 50-minute mark. And then Arteta changes it up at 65 minutes. We have this thing now with our squad where you have to beat us twice. Gyökeres comes on for Jesus. Martinelli comes on for Madueke. And yeah, like the football was flowing, and Kai Havertz just looked really, really good, man. Was super impressed with Kai, how he facilitated Gyökeres as well. Like overall, like a really comprehensive performance, and was just super happy at the end. Again, we're at the end of the match. We're 9 points clear. And yeah, was fully expecting Liverpool to get something against City the following night. But yeah, what wasn't to be.
And you've got Gyökeres firing now. He's got 2 goals in the last 3 goals in 2 matches, I think. How's he? What are your thoughts on him?
So yeah, so it's 6-6, the most goals in all competitions in 2026 for any Premier League player. What I think about Gyökeres is he basically had the burden of carrying the team from the beginning of the season. Jesus was injured. Havertz got injured immediately in the United match. Was playing basically week in, week out. And we see with Gyökeres that whenever he has to start back-to-back games, he just doesn't look as fresh. Whereas he had a bit of a rest midweek, and he just looked really, really good coming on as a bit of a super sub, I think. I think Havertz being there, Jesus being there, has kind of lifted that burden off him a little bit. And like with any striker, like as soon as you kind of get a goal, it's like a bug, right? Like you just have to continue with it. And I fully expect him to start against Brentford on Thursday. So yeah, super pleased for him. Spoiler alert, I did bring him into my fantasy team, as I said in my short. So hoping he gets me something against Brentford and Wolves in the next couple of games.
No, Daniel, let's have it out now. Are you taking Gyökeres or Ekitike? After that debate we had, I want to hear your answer.
It's interesting seeing Ekitike's profligacy against Manchester City and him scuffing his chances. I think what Gyökeres gives us right now is what this team needed in terms of directness, in terms of just a bloke up front. Like we needed more men in the team, and Gyökeres is that. He's something different to what we haven't got in the squad. Like we've got a runner in terms of Martinelli who could kind of play that role in terms of how Ekitike is. But yeah, like Gyökeres being a bit of a force of nature, I think I'd go for him. I think in a couple of years' time, in 2 years' time, Ekitike has the potential to be the best striker in the world. Or maybe even in a year's time, if he carries on developing in the same way. But right now, for where we are, where we're trying to aim for our first league title in 22 years, signing the hottest property in Europe was the right move, I think, from our perspective. And I think Ekitike's price was, I think, limiting for Arsenal. Like we went one particular route, and Liverpool went in another direction. And you can see that in terms of the points difference between the two squads and the two teams. I think it's like 17 points between Arsenal and Liverpool right now. Obviously, Liverpool decided to go big, 150 million pounds on Isak, 115 on Wirtz, 130 on Isak. Was it 80 to 90 million on Ekitike? 50 million pounds on Frimpong. Like these were big purchases, and Arsenal decided to kind of spread that money to really bolster that squad, and it seems to be paying dividends, I think, for us.
I think that's a very, very calculated answer, but I think it's bullshit. I think any Arsenal fan will take Ekitike over Gyökeres. It doesn't matter whatever gameplay you have. You take a goal scorer, and Ekitike is more of a goal scorer than Gyökeres is, and I think that's.
Well,
I think he would, if he joined your team, he would be more fruitful in your team. Come on, man, you're so biased. You're so delusional. How can you be so in love with Gyökeres? Come on, man.
Bro, you can ask anyone. I've been clucking for Gyökeres to come for the last 2 years. Like if we're gonna get Isak, Gyökeres was the guy for me. We needed someone who could lace the football, and Gyökeres can do that. He's got lead in his boot. Sometimes for better and for worse, I have to say, but he can lace that football nicely. And we don't have anyone in the squad who can do what he does right now. I kind of see Ekitike in the same way that Martinelli was a couple of seasons ago, or when in our first title challenge. Don't get me wrong. I think Ekitike can be a phenomenal striker. But for this moment in time, Gyökeres is what this Arsenal team needs. I
think I was going to ask actually, because when I did the graphic, I put I had Havertz with a key, because I feel like he's come back into the team at such a perfect time, and obviously I think he got did he score or he got an assist for a goal against Sunderland? I can't remember, but he was involved in some way, shape, or form in one of the goals.
Assist, yeah.
And I think when he's there, I think it can bring out the best in Gyökeres as well, and not only what he provides. It's interesting to see how this season carries on. But yeah, I wouldn't be, if I was, I guess, with the fact that Arsenal haven't won a title in so long, I would be worried about the whole 6-point gap and blah 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 blah. But the fact that you're 6 points clear of the faltering City team, I full on expect them to draw with Fulham midweek, even though they'll come at this in a very positive light. I mean, I just don't have the confidence in this City team to be able to do it consistently. If it was City teams of the past, then yeah, I could see them really, using it as momentum and pushing them to go on a winning run. But I mean, Arsenal are also unlikely to drop points either. So I don't know. Unless pressure starts to tell and City continue to close the gap, but so on one hand, I feel like Arsenal won't drop points. But as I've spoken to some Arsenal fans, there's still 13 games to go.
Yeah, it's a long way. I mean, I want to go to SJ's comment here, like PTSD kicking in at Danielle. Like, yeah, bro, like it's been kicking in since the United match. Three title challenges that have not ended in glory. It's hard, man. It's hard, and the psychological pressure of being in that title race, it's tough. Like I was talking to another Arsenal fan today at work, and I was just like, man, I kind of missed the days when we were crap. Like, no pressure, can like cheer your team on. But yeah, like I take this.
Wait, hold up. Sorry to interrupt. Arsenal fans have jobs. Sorry.
Yes, we do. But very well off jobs, actually, Mr. Dog.
I want to go back to Gyökeres, actually. Danielle, I want to go back to Gyökeres, Danielle, if the time's okay. So you're saying he is more what you need than Ekitike. But so you're saying, it's just someone who's on the end of the chances, just a finisher, rather than Ekitike sort of playing off the shoulder of a striker using his pace. But as a goal scorer, Ekitike has scored more goals than Gyökeres,
by one.
and like per minutes as well. His record's much better than Gyökeres. So where is this? I think you are where you are at because of your squad, not because of Gyökeres. I think if you didn't have Gyökeres, you'd still be like 6 points clear, maybe even more. If you had, say, Havertz.
I disagree. Yeah, I disagree. He's given us a directness that we haven't had in previous seasons. So, in prior years, last year, the year before, even the 8-9 point season, we would do this thing where we had this horseshoe of death, where we would play out from Saliba, go to Saka, cut back to Ødegaard, go back to Martinelli, and it'd be this horseshoe pattern. Whereas what Victor has provided us with is his balls over to the top. So there's been a lot more directness in terms of our patterns of play, and the games that we've previously lost in last year, so or even drew. Think back to the Brighton game, 1-1 at home, Aston Villa away and home. We ended up drawing or losing those games. Newcastle away. Those games have turned into wins this season, and Gyökeres has been a big part of that, in my opinion, in terms of how direct we are. Like before, it was very much precision passing, ball to feet, make sure we don't lose the ball. Whereas now it's playing into areas, hitting that area, making sure we're trying to get it up to him. And I think he's really, really helped us in that regard. And I definitely agree with Zahid. Kai Havertz being there, he's like the glue that holds everything together. I think it's no surprise that our best goal scoring run under Arteta is when Kai Havertz was playing number 9 in that 8-9 point season before his injury. He really made Trossard and Saka stick. And likewise, we're seeing a bit of a partnership develop with Havertz and Gyökeres.
I think in that United game, though, you win if you have Ekitike out there instead of Gyökeres. And Ekitike doesn't shank it like that at the end. That last kick he does.
I mean, that header yesterday was pretty bad, man. Like we
knew that when we bought him. That was one of the lowest stats he had at Frankfurt. His aerial ability has always been a bit, needs to work on that.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, that was one of Gyökeres' weaknesses. Or he didn't score many goals from his from headers at Sporting either. But it is what it is, man. Like we've got this player for 5 years. Like as Arsenal fans, our job is to support him, and he's in a good moment right now. So I'm happy with the squad that we have. Like I said, and I'm happy we went in the direction that we went in.
Whilst we've got a few minutes on the Arsenal topic, we'll just have a quick rundown of the Arsenal's games last week with Chelsea in the semi-final and the build up to the League Cup final. So, are you excited? Or is it going to be a nice day out to Wembley?
So I've for viewers watching this, I've always bigged up the league as being the bread and butter for any football team. Hence why the likes of Ten Hag and I don't know whatever managers got sacked despite winning trophies. And like that's not me downplaying winning a trophy. Like it is the bread and butter of football as well in another regard. But yeah, like getting an 8-9 point season, I'd always take that. Going back to a League Cup question, it's been 6 long years without any trophies, excluding our Community Shields. 6 very long years. So looking forward to it, although slightly dreading it from the perspective of the narratives. I feel like either way, Arsenal is still going to be spoken about, for better or for worse. Like if we win the final, then it's like, okay, Arsenal have to go on and win the league now. If we lose the final, or will Arsenal now bottle the league, will this give Manchester City the impetus to go and overtake us? So from that perspective, it is kind of terrifying. I think I would have rather have had Newcastle in that final as a result. But like I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm going to try my best to get a ticket. And yeah, hopefully we had another good day out where we're looking some silver at the end of it.
I'm just going to bring you back on something that you said there. So you said you've not won a trophy for 6 years, excluding the Community Shields. If you roll back to the very, very first episode of this pod, you and Tamim have a conversation about what's more important, what's a bigger trophy, the Community Shield or the League Cup? And you were very much on the side of the Community Shield. And yet what you just said there kind of sounds like the opposite.
Yeah.
Good memory, Omar. Good memory.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Fatality.
Fair enough. Well, I think if the Community had a sexier name and they called it the Super Cup, the English Super Cup, I think it will get a lot more flowers than the League Cup, in my opinion. I honestly believe that. I do think the value of a Community Shield, if it had a sexier name, like what we have in Europe with the Super Cups, it'll get a lot more traction rather than just being a curtain raiser for and a glorified friendly in some ways. Obviously, it's how people view it.
You're talking so much shit. Carry on.
It's how people view it. It's how people view it, man. In my opinion,
It's how people who haven't won it view it. All right, stop the bullshit.
it's how people view it, bro. I honestly, like, if we went out in the semi-final against Chelsea, yeah, I would have been disappointed because we would have been 180 minutes away from a trophy. But like for me, for Arsenal in particular, it's winning the league or winning the Champions League. Like the League Cup isn't the be all and end all for our season.
But I've heard through the grapevine that if Arsenal finish second, they might be sponsored by Viagra. For those who like coming second, like and subscribe.
Man, I don't know how to follow that up. Yeah, Khalid, Super Copa de Britannia, brilliant comment, Khalid. I agree with you there, man.
Do you not want to read out one of Tamim's suggestions or Zai's suggestions?
I don't know what Tamim suggested, man.
Oh god.
Anyway,
I feel like the Community Shield is so early in the season that it's a nothing cup, unfortunately. Like it's at the beginning of the season after, teams have signed new players or just come off their summer training and all that sort of stuff. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't hold any weight for the season. I mean, I guess it's just another trophy to add to the cabinet, but I think fans wouldn't necessarily claim it to be anything more than just another thing. It's just a tick box exercise, and there's only 2 teams that get in it, so I don't think it's that important. But with the League Cup, if you can beat City in the final, then it'll give you such a psychological boost going into the rest of the season.
Yeah,
so it's going to be a huge game. I mean, and Guardiola really sees it as an important. I mean, he said it in the past as well. Like, it gets the team having that winning mentality. It gets them the ability to go to Wembley, to see what it's like to win a final, to win a cup, and it gets them hungry for more. So, I think Guardiola put huge emphasis on this game. Do you think that Arrizabalaga, do you think he will start the game?
Yeah, I think it will. He's played every minute of this cup run. I think it would be really fair.
I mean, consider his past in terms of what he's done in finals.
I know.
Refusing to come off and skying a penalty. He doesn't have the greatest experience when it comes to League Cup finals.
Yeah, you know what? I thought Raya was going to start the semi, as in the return leg, after he kind of flapped in the first game at Stamford Bridge. That kind of caused their second goal. But yeah, I think he took us this whole way through, including making that crucial penalty save versus Crystal Palace. So I think it'll be very unfair to drop him at this point, even though obviously Raya is our number 1. So yeah, but yeah, I fully agree with everything that you said there. Like, I do think it will give whoever wins that final a psychological boost for the rest of the season. Saying that, we could potentially play City 4 times in the space of a month because they're on the same side of the draw of the Champions League. We face them for sure at the Etihad on the 18th of April, which I believe will be the title decider. I think whoever wins that, or if Arsenal were to draw it, and if the points tally are kind of there or thereabouts how they are right now, I think that'll pretty much confirm Arsenal to be champions. It's definitely a 6-pointer that game. So yeah, it's all sorts of psychological stuff going on. It really takes me back to the '99 semi-final FA Cup with Manchester United. How we were kind of in the lead in the league at that point, and then they beat us in the semi, and then it gave them, Man United, the impetus to go and win that treble. So it is giving me those vibes, unfortunately, in some ways.
And so we'll just move on to the next topic there. So just have a quick roundup of the United Tottenham game. Not much to really discuss. There was a fairly routine win, especially after Tottenham went down to 10. Went down to Tottenham 10 men. Sorry, Romero with his rash challenge there. Some people have defended him, though, saying that he shouldn't have been sent off. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
It was interesting to see Romero dive in there, just like Uzi's been diving into the comment section of any Aluko videos. But yeah, no, I mean, it's just Romero's an idiot. I don't know how he can be a captain of this club. He's just so rash. It's not the first time this season that I think there was what's his name? Thomas Frank got interviewed after the game, right? And the reporters had to tell him how many times Romero's been sent off. Like he's not got that many red cards, and he's like, actually, like since he's been at the club, he's had the most red cards or something. And he was like, oh, I didn't know that. Just funny to see that, how out of touch Thomas Frank is. It's not the first time he's been out of touch with the club this season.
I think the bigger talking point with him was all his tweets and stuff, slagging off the higher ups at the club, which you don't really often get from players. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think he'll still be there at the end of the season? Do you think Tottenham will be? Oh, another point was Rooney made on his podcast was he thinks Tottenham are in a relegation battle as well. Do you see them going down?
So I think when I look at what Romero did, I think about what Salah did, and I look for similarities and comparisons. Like Romero came out and criticized the club's transfer policy, and what Salah did was basically criticize his inability to play, or that he wanted to play. So it was different in that sense. But I guess, yeah, no, it's interesting to see that he would come out and he did it strategically straight after the transfer window closed, I'm pretty sure, then deleted his tweet or whatever it was. So it was interesting to see. I know a few West Ham fans who are licking their lips at a possibility of both West Ham and Tottenham going down, which would be hilarious to see. But yeah, no, I would say that unless Tottenham pick up results, it's weird. They play better away from home than they do at home. Their record is better away from home. I mean, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I fully expect them to get knocked out of the Champions League within the next round or two. So then they won't even have that to cling on to. Maybe that'll be good for them because then they can actually focus on trying to avoid relegation this season. But it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Now, West Ham have 3 wins in 4, haven't they? And that loss they had was Chelsea, which they were winning 2-0. So it'll be interesting. It will be very interesting.
They're actually our next game, and I think this will probably be Carrick's biggest test to go up against a team that are battling relegation. But they're also on a good run, as Tammy mentioned, 3 wins in 4. We're playing at their ground, so we'll be away. It'll be interesting to see how he lines up in this match, if he does anything different, particularly assuming that West Ham do go for a low block. And we also have the issue of Nuno. He always seems to somehow grind a result out against us. So I'm a bit apprehensive going into that next match there. I would predict another draw on that front. Uzi, what are you thinking? You're a man of both teams.
I like the way United's playing. I think they're doing good stuff. I think they've been playing good, positive football. I'm just wondering when they're going to come crashing down. When's the post-nut clarity section of this resurgent going to kick in? Right now they're just on a high. Bang, 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 and then when they're going to go, when's it all going to finish for them? So because United does this often, though. They're the new manager bounce, isn't it, man? I'm just cautious optimism. I remember how excited I got, not that excited, Zide, with Ollie when he kind of took the wheel and all that. But they're playing good football. With regards to Tottenham, at this stage, they might as well just get expressions oozing to be their coach, man, because whoever they try, they're always failing. So, yeah, let's see. I think they'll beat West Ham. It'll be a hard victory. No pun intended. Maybe like a 1-0 or 2-0, but we can get to predictions later. I'm so sorry, Daniel, man. You're proper hating me. Why are you doing this for? Yeah. Plus, it's also Tottenham, Omar, so it's not that much of an achievement beating them.
In the immortal words of Sir Alex Ferguson, lads, it's Tottenham. And
Indeed.
Let's see who else.
The United Strand is one win away from.
Oh yes, getting that haircut. Yeah. So I think that's another thing that's gonna work against us. I think this little bet thing that's going on is gonna make us one of those nearly teams that never ever was.
You've got West Ham. Is it tomorrow night?
Wednesday night. No, tomorrow night.
Yeah. So I mean, you should beat them.
We should, but I just feel the fact that it's Nuno, the fact that they're on a good run in recent weeks, I feel like that's going to work against us, and I've got a feeling it'll end in a draw.
Omar, do you feel like
I think Uzi should join the United Strand? I think you should join him. I think Uzi should join the United Strand in.
I agree.
Making a commitment to losing some hair. If United get 5 out of 5, I think you should get what is it? The back sack and crack wax. If United win 5 and 5.
Zayed, what's wrong with my hair, man? I know with the hairband I look like Anjali from Kuch Kuch Hota Hai.
Live on the next episode.
Omar, do you feel like United's on a bit of when can you see United's run of form stopping? I mean, can you actually see them contesting for the title? Then 9 points behind now?
9 or 12?
I think
12,
it's 9.
I think.
12, I think.
Yeah, no, we're not going for the title. I mean, with the way City and Villa have been performing recently, we could push for second, but that's umming and ahhing there. It's an if and but. But I think Champions League seems like it's more within sight than it was 2 months ago. So we should hopefully be aiming for that top 4 battle.
So I've always believed that United would get top 5 this season, even from the beginning of the season. One of my predictions was that they get top 5 only because of the lack of European football for you guys. The fact you'd have 1 game a week. I didn't expect it to be this few games after getting knocked out by Grimsby and Brighton in the FA Cup, respectively. But keeping that squad fresh week in, week out will be a big advantage over the likes of Bournemouth, Newcastle, Aston Villa, who are going for the Europa League as well. I think it will have you guys in good stead, and you're hitting form at the right time. Like, things have clicked with your attacking force as well, with Bruno, with Mbeumo, Cunha as well. I saw some Arsenal fans lamenting. I saw someone using that word in the chat, lamenting the fact that we didn't get Sesko. Going back to the striker conversation. But yeah, Sesko looks good. And yeah, by the way, all 3 of those players, Sesko, Mbeumo and Cunha, we were linked with before the season started. So I think some good recruitment there from Manchester United.
Yeah, it was a good transfer.
Sesko still has. Didn't he miss? He missed an opportunity, didn't he? Against
right at the very last minute. He went for a header when he should have. He had the time to control it and smash it in.
Yeah, I was like, come on, man. He's still quite rough around the edges, still quite raw. He hasn't. I think he wants to score so badly that he'll just do whatever it takes.
Yeah, I was listening to one of the podcasts and he said that he feels if he's a bit too nice for the Premier League, he'll rather than smashing it in, he's worried he might hurt someone. He'll go for placement or a header in that instance there. And I think he just needs to toughen up for the Premier League.
That was one of the main reasons why he because he signed a new deal at Leipzig last season. And apparently that was the main reason why he didn't join Arsenal, because he saw what Havertz did against Chelsea and thought, I can't compete with this guy. Allegedly, that's what they're talking about, Sesko, in that opinion. And then obviously, like, there are question marks about his mentality by not taking a penalty at Grimsby Town and that sort of thing. But, you know, he's still young. He's still only 22. He's got a lot more developing to go on. And he's got all the right physical attributes and a good first touch. So,
there seems to be a bit more optimism about him compared to what we had with Rasmus Højlund.
He's also doing quite well in Napoli, by the way. So, yeah.
He was doing okay with Atalanta before he joined United. I think he went on that purple patch in the second half of the season before we signed him. So maybe just the Italian league suits him better.
Yeah, potentially.
Same with McTominay, isn't it? That guy's Diego Maradona Kebab in honor of his Scottish roots. He's been doing bang. Sorry, slight digression. Moving on.
No, but
it's a valid point.
Big up Scotty, man. Big up Scotty. Like he's been doing really well. Honestly.
Yeah, last week you were like big up Mikel Merino. Now you're like big up Scotty.
Man, I'm gonna miss Marino for the rest of the season, man. Honestly, like I'm just so glad you have Havertz back to play that big guy role in midfield and up top. But yeah, I'm partly Scottish by my great grandmother, so that's why, you know, big up the Scots. Anyway,
I don't think any of us know what to say to that. So
yeah, anyway, I'll let you continue, Omar.
So we'll move on to the predictions. So we've sort of covered West Ham United for tomorrow night, and on Wednesday night we have Sunderland v Liverpool. Liverpool playing at the Stadium of Light. What are your thoughts?
I think the poor form is going to continue. I think we'll get maybe a draw out of it. I'll say 1-1. I reckon we may get a draw, possibly.
I think Sunderland are quite, like we were discussing, Sunderland are quite a physical team. And playing Sunderland at the Stadium of Light is just going to be another... I mean, we're coming off the loss as well. So I think the spirits will be quite low. So I can see us, at best, getting a draw from this game. Although Slot might be able to get us to bounce back, and I could also see us winning. But I suspect a draw, for sure.
No, I think I would say I'll hazard you guys get a win, more because I feel like you would want to get a bit of revenge and push on the table. So I feel like you guys will come out fighting in the next one there. So I'm predicting a 2-0 win or a 2-1. Daniel?
Some free to it. I don't know who you are, bro, but yeah, hilarious comment. I think I'll hide that now. I'm not going to violate my bro like that, man. I think it'll be a draw. Sunderland is tough, man, and without like their best player, with Dominic Szoboszlai, I think it'll be a draw. 1-1.
Yeah, if Szoboszlai is not playing, I think it'll be like a 1-1 or even like a 1-0.
I don't know who's going to play right back, to be honest, because he played right back against City. So I don't know who is going to come in, unless... do you know, Tamin?
We've been sort of gunning for that Calvin Ramsey, haven't we? I don't know much about him, but I know he's had first-team football in Scotland and a few other places. He's meant to be rated somewhat. And he's a natural right back. And a lot of fans have been
last season, I think.
Yeah, where was he? Sorry,
I think he played He played a couple of games or something last season.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And he did look like pretty much a Conor Bradley carbon copy almost. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm not too confident because Szoboszlai covers so much of the pitch. He takes the free kicks as well, and he has that energy box to box. So he's going to be a huge miss for sure. But yeah, I guess we'll see what happens.
And finally, Thursday night, we have Brentford hosting Arsenal. Can Arsenal get one step closer to the trophy, Daniel?
I think we can. I think one thing a lot of Arsenal fans have been saying recently is that we almost needed that loss against Liverpool to kind of get against Manchester United, to kind of sharpen the minds, get rid of those nerves, have that clear the air meeting as it did. And we look a lot more focused now. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a real tough match. The game at the Emirates was a tough watch. Brentford didn't make it easy for us at all, even at 1-0 up. Ended up finishing 2-0. I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to Arsenal. But yeah, like I'm not supremely confident with it. It wouldn't surprise me if we did draw, just because Brentford have a very good home record. Thiago as well is on fire. One thing which is good that Shada's not playing, so that could go into our favour. But you know, they have some really tricky players, Brentford. But funny enough, I think the team who's most similar to Arsenal stylistically is probably Brentford. We took their set piece coach, Nicolas Jova, from there, and the irony is that they
became your manager, didn't he?
Yeah, no. So Keith Andrews was their set piece coach and then became their manager afterwards. So yeah,
but Nicolas Jova was your manager, isn't he?
Who? Nicolas Jova?
Yeah.
Well, the ops would say that, but no. In Mikel we trust.
Tamim, your thoughts on the Brentford Arsenal match?
Brentford have been all right recently, and they are, at home they've been very good. They're a solid team. They're not afraid to just park the bus and make it a boring game. So I'm gonna say 1-1.
And Zahid? I
mean, does this count as a London derby? Arsenal Brentford? I mean, technically it does, right? I'm hoping Igor Thiago pulls something out of the bag, man. Honestly, it's probably going to be unlikely, but I'm hoping for a hard-fought draw, midweek draw for Arsenal. Unlikely to be the case, but yeah, I think Arsenal will come through probably 3-1, most likely.
And Uzi, what are you predicting?
Easy win for Arsenal. The league's theirs. I think Daniel's just trying to play it humble. He gives us all the shit baiting in the WhatsApp chat here. He's trying to be like, oh, no, let's just keep it humble, boys. Arsenal going to win 3-0 or 3-1. Come on. And Daniel's going to be sending us memes and like random XG posts at 2 o'clock in the morning. Tosses. Don't give me with this nonsense, man. You know you're going to pace Brentford, man. The only challenge you guys are going to have is going to be from Chelsea coming up. That's it.
No, I disagree, man. We're not going to pace Brentford at all. Like they are tough. Like they've beaten Liverpool at home. They've beaten Aston Villa at home. They've beaten Manchester United at home. Real tough opposition at their ground, man. So it's not going to be easy at all. But yeah, I think we'll get over the line in this one. But yeah, it's not going to be easy, man. Tottenham, on the other hand, when we face Tottenham in a couple of weeks' time, I think that will be an easy win for us.
Is that so did you say Tottenham's your next match?
So no, we've got Wolves, and then after Wolves away, it's Tottenham away. So yeah, 3 away games on the trot actually, which is quite strange.
Okay, so I think we'll leave it at that, lads. It's been lovely catching up with you all. Please, everybody, like and subscribe to our channel. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll hopefully catch you after the next round of games. We'll see you next week.